Now that you have completed your notes, and now that you have a thesis statement and topic sentences, you are ready to begin writing your research paper. Your research paper needs to be in MLA format. So this video is a brief review of how to create a document in Google Docs that is in MLA format. So let me begin by giving the document a name. We're going to call this document Sample MLA Format. Now, I need both a header and a heading on this document. The header we're going to put in by saying insert, header, and page number. And you'll see that that opens a box at the very, very top margin of the page. That's where the header goes. The header belongs on the right side, so I'm going to move to the right align by pressing this button here. And I'm going to type my last name, which is Beasley. Then I am going to type a space because I want a space between my last name and the page number. I go back to insert, and there we go. Now I can insert a page number. I want it right up at the top there. All done. One last step. Because I'm also going to have a heading on my front page, which has my full name, I don't need this top corner to say Beasley. I'm going to give my full name in a moment. So I'm going to click different first page header or footer. Now, when you click that, you'll notice that all of a sudden it seems like you have no header. But I promise you, when we go to a second page, you'll see that it's still there, just not on the first page. Let's click below that box now because we are all finished with the header. It's going to automatically show up with the page number correctly on every page but this one. The next step is to add a heading. The heading includes first my full name, then my teacher or teachers' full names, then the name of my course, and finally the date. You'll notice that the date is in international format. The date, then the month, then the year. On the very next line, because there are no skipped lines in MLA format, I will type a title. But my title belongs in the center of the page. So I'm going to center a line with this button. And my title needs to reflect my thesis. It does not need to be bold or underlined. It doesn't need anything fancy. It does need to be in the center of the page. On the very next line, I'm going to begin typing my paper. However, I want to come back out to the left margin. I hit the Tab button, and now I can begin writing my research paper on the very next line. You generally won't run into issues in the introduction with citation, but sometimes you do. I'm just going to copy and paste these sentences a couple of times to move this along. There's my introduction. The final sentence of my introduction will be my thesis statement. Okay. Again, I go to the next line and indent. On the very next line, I will begin my first body paragraph. There are no skipped lines in MLA format. However, MLA does require that everything be double spaced. So this is as good a time as any to do that. I'm going to highlight everything in my document. I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to choose line spacing, and I'll say double. And that's exactly what a first page of MLA format should look like. Now that I am in body paragraphs, I will probably be using a lot of research, which means I will need to cite. If I use a quote anywhere in my sentence, then I will include a citation at the end of that sentence. It's like that. And you'll notice that the period goes outside of the parenthetical. You're going to get a separate review on this, but I want you to notice that while we're doing it right now. Finally, if I paraphrase a source, even if I don't use the exact words of that author, I need to add a citation as well. So, for instance, if I say that Native Americans are the minority group with the highest rate of unemployment, I didn't use anyone's direct words, but I have used their idea. I've used a statistic. I've used a specific fact that I got somewhere else. So I still need to cite. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this whole paragraph to show you what a third paragraph would look like, just so that you get an opportunity to see that when we move on to a second page, Beasley 2 should show up in the header space. And on the third page, Beasley 3 should show up. After the very last page, after the very last words of my research paper, I want to say insert, go down to break, page break. Beasley 3. The final page of my whole paper, and it should be a separate page, will be my Works Cited. So when I get to my Works Cited, I center my cursor, I write the words Works Cited, and on the next line, I begin writing my Works Cited. You should already have an edited Works Cited ready to go in here, but this is how it will appear as the final page of your research paper. So that's what MLA formatting looks like for your header, your heading, your title, your citation, and your Works Cited page.